This is Joy Roland, and you are listening to the Joyful Money Podcast. This is episode number 89, How to 10x Your Business with Rg Enzon. Welcome to Joyful Money, the podcast where we focus on making money the joyful way. We are done with the stress and anxiety that typically come with making money. We'll feature extraordinary and inspiring business owners who are making a huge impact by sharing their gifts and talents with the world. Pour yourself a cup of coffee or tea and let's go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 89 of the Joyful Money Podcast. I am very excited and thrilled to have a special guest. His name is RG, and RG is a digital agency owner. He has an incredible story of how he's been able to build a successful business, and we have a lot to talk about. Welcome to the show, RG.
Joy, thank you so much for having me. Very grateful that I'm here in your show.
Awesome, awesome. So, why don't you start by introducing yourself and what you do?
Yep. All right. So, hi everyone. My name is RG, and I am a digital marketing agency owner. But I'm also doing this kind of like as my side hustle gig while I'm transitioning out of the military. I serve for the U.S. Navy, and also on the side, I own a second business that I built with my wife. It's about 2 years ago. And the big mission is essentially to reach 1 million different small business owners to help them leverage digital marketing tools to help them with their brick and mortar businesses. That way they can scale, grow, hands free, and so they can just be focused on being the face of their business.
I love that so much. And before we came on air, I was asking you a lot about the services you offer because this is something I'm also very interested in. But before we dive into all of those topics, you just mentioned that you are in the US Navy. That's amazing. I know you just said it very casually there, but that's an amazing thing. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so basically at the age of like 17, my parents decided to bring us to the United States. I'm born and raised in the Philippines, and essentially, like if you compare Philippines compared to the United States in terms of opportunities, and future of your kids, obviously the no-brainer answer is to bring your kids to the United States if you have that opportunity, right? So essentially, I finished my degree in the Philippines, but that wasn't really an easy task to do because I came into the United States. I was incoming third year in college, and I was doing a bachelor's degree back then in information technology. And during this time, I was trying to enroll in like different colleges and universities in the United States, but they wouldn't let me get in because I essentially double quote skipped multiple grades. Um, because basically, like you think about it, I'm only 17 and I'm already third year in college.
Mhm.
So if you compare it to the US education system, that means that like I skipped 2 grades, essentially my middle school. So I only did elementary and my high school. But also I skipped I think 1 or 2 grades when I was like really young. Because I did like an accelerated education program in the Philippines. So my age wasn't really equate I guess like something that was kind of like confusing for them to accept. So essentially, that was the primary plan is like for me to continue my school back then, but it didn't happen. And then I essentially asked my parents to like just let me continue my education and finish my degree to go back and forth in the Philippines. Anyway, fast forward 2 years later, I finished my degree. Yay. But I came back to the United States, and then at that time, I didn't have my citizenship yet. I only had my green card. So I was like, well, what is the fastest way to get my citizenship, right? But also, I don't want to just do it where like like I'm just doing random odd jobs, and
Mhm.
I want to have like a deeper purpose and meaning in life, right? Because on my teenage years, all I was doing is like partying, drinking nonstop, and all this stuff. I wanted to break off that habit because like I'm in a different environment now. So basically, my dad pretty much told me, hey, like you're waiting 5 years for you to even apply for your citizenship. Why don't you just join the U.S. Navy? And then at the back of my, I was like, me joining the military with no discipline and all that stuff. I was like, this guy is nuts. And then I'm really glad I followed his advice. I guess like the best selling factor was like, like you basically joined an organization with a deeper meaning, deeper
Mm.
mission, more than yourself. But ultimately, selfishly, when you join the Navy, basically, if you're to get your citizenship, instead of you waiting the 5 year waiting period between being having a green card to getting the citizenship, you literally just wait like 2 months because
Wow.
yeah. So that's like a huge chunk of time that's saved. And like the benefits of being in the United States Navy is also awesome. But yeah, like, and then I think year two of me being in the Navy, I essentially found out that my my grandmother passed away, and then she died because of a hit and run tragedy. And
Mm.
that kind of like obviously that stings a lot. And
Mm.
basically she's the person who like helped raise me and my sister growing up. So that was a lot for me to take on. And essentially like with her death, I basically had to rethink my entire life because like I was on deployment. I couldn't leave because we have a mission to accomplish. At the time I was really angry about it. But now I understand that like, like it's not really not all about you in the military. Um, but it also gave me this perspective that like like my passion is all about technology, but my job in the military is not
Mm.
about technology. So I was like, well, I have 24 hours in a day. I think it's up to me to figure out what I can do with that time. And then I pretty much started reading books a lot and then started taking courses and what have you, hired mentors and all that stuff. And I pretty much was like, all right, I want to do this. And then that's basically how I started my digital marketing agency journey.
Wow, that's such a fascinating story, and I'm very sorry about your loss of your grandma. That's one of the things we have to deal with as human beings. It's very tough when you lose a loved one, so I'm very sorry about that. We have a lot in common. So we're both immigrants,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, and we are both in IT. I studied computer science and then business information technology at master's level. So I like that we have all of those things in common. So tell us about your digital marketing business. How can the audience listening to us right now 10x their income using your strategies?
Yeah. So basically, we focus more on the organic side, aka we're not really allergic to the paid advertising portion of like the digital marketing realm, but we do love to see results using local SEO, reputation management, and all of that are done organically, meaning you're not paying a dime on ad. And essentially, what our biggest service within our agency is really more about helping you get seen on Google. And we do that through basically combining different strategies. But ultimately, what we do is like we help business owners um, pretty much like get more reviews that because reviews in Google that is considered UGC, and UGC stands for user generated content, right? Because you're not the one who's writing the review, it's literally your customer's profile. And what that means for you is that on Google, they will help you get boosted on their algorithm. Because one, if you have a Google business profile, you have fresh content posted on your profile. Number two, it helps credibility and authority because now you have your previous customer write a review about you, right? And then number three, um, it also helps with like buyer's decision because any reviews that are pretty much like older than 3 months or 90 days, that's considered old in the eyes of consumers. Because like if you think about it too, right? Like if you're a business, you didn't get a review within like within that 90-day period. Like
Mm.
what have your business been doing, right? So basically, for us, we combine a strategy of utilizing our software for reputation management, AI to help you get more out of these reviews, and essentially a lot of automation, systemization, uh, and basically for me, because I'm in the U.S. Navy, I had to pretty much like picture my day on a 30-foot view, where I was like, like you said, we have degrees that we did, and can we both like do programming easily, right? But with my limited amount of time, um, I had to I had to like steer clear from that and get me out of that mindset and be like, all right, instead of me doing it, why don't I just focus on learning how to hire, on learning how to delegate, on figuring out what tasks can be delegated and all that stuff. So yeah, basically our overview is that we like for example, I'm just gonna think of you for example as like our client, right? We essentially onboard you, we grab all of your review profiles. So what that means is like if you have a Google business page, Yelp, Yellow Pages, Facebook, all of those different review platforms. I believe we support over 150 different review platforms right now. And if those review platforms are not supported, guess what? You can always just manually add those reviews. But essentially, what that looks like is that we pull all of your reviews and then we look at your rankings against all of your platforms, how frequent you're getting with reviews. We also help you set up review funnel campaigns. And essentially, what that means is that we take automation, tie that into your review getting sequence. That way, you're automatically asking for reviews without you having to do it manually. And
Yeah.
let's just say you get new reviews. What we do is we integrated it again with automation, but this time with AI, where let's say somebody left your business a review, and this is very important because like I see this a lot where like businesses they get happy with getting reviews, but they don't realize that like you actually have to respond to those reviews because that gives Google, for example, the idea that like you are an active business owner or business in general, and you essentially take care of your consumers or customers as well. Um, so basically, we help you with that by training our AI into reading that review and then responding it on behalf of your business. Obviously, if you don't want how the AI sounds, you can obviously just put in custom prompts. That way, the tone of voice is matching your brand or your personality.
I like that so much. One of the things you said was that we don't necessarily have to write the code ourselves, even though we are technologically trained. And I like that point very much because what I find is many people like to call themselves solopreneurs and they're very proud of that title when you can actually 10x your business by outsourcing a lot of the tasks. Not only is it wise for you to do from a financial point of view, it also helps with overwhelm, right? Because many business owners tend to do everything themselves: sales, marketing, operations, IT, every single thing. And it gets very, very overwhelming for one person. So I want to encourage listeners, don't hold on to the title of solopreneur as if it's a badge of honor. You can outsource. So currently, I have a VA that I've outsourced, and I'm paying about $300 per month, right? And that's the best use of my time because she can do a lot of the lead generation task using AI, right? I'm using AI in my business. So I wanted to stress that point with our audience. Now, question for you, RJ. What kind of clients do you typically work with? You mentioned reviews on Google. I was just very curious. What kind of clients do you work with typically?
Typically, the customer avatar that we work with, um, high level view is that either they're starting out and have the funds to get started. And I mentioned that because like a lot of like entrepreneurs, they think that like starting a business can be done for free, right? And You're laughing, but you know it's true, right? Like because
Yeah,
you think about
for
it,
sure.
like but if you think about it, like sure, can you do it for free? Absolutely. But free means it's taking away your time, it's taking away your energy, it's taking away your money, essentially in the sense of instead of you just progressing and becoming the face of your business, you're focused on closing deals and all of this stuff. You now end up having to juggle all of these things that as a business you have to do because you can't just survive with, let's say, focusing on sales, right? Because you still have to
Mm.
do the delivery portion. You still have to manage your reputation. You still have to systemize. You still have to end up when you start expanding, you have to start hiring and a lot of those things take skills, they take expertise and all that stuff. So are you really starting for free? Of course not, you know? And the crazy part is that if you have a family, if you have a kid, you know, like you now take away time from those important people in your life because you you are thinking that you could do this by yourself and you could do this for free. When reality, free to you right now is basically taking away time from yourself and the important people in your life.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So then, I'm just thinking about this from my own perspective as a coach. So I'm a business coach, AI coach, and thinking about how you can help me because many of my audience are coaches and consultants. So how can you help a coach? So, for example, me, although I've been collecting reviews, I don't have a Google business page, right? Those reviews were, for example, I have video testimonials, I have video reviews. Those clients have not actually written the reviews on Google for me. So, if I was to solicit your services, how would you help me so I can start collecting reviews on Google?
Yeah, so it's really easy. So basically, if you don't have a Google Business profile, easy fix, create one, right? Like there's nobody who's limiting anybody to create a profile. It's free. Um, and then you basically just need to get your business verified and all that stuff, and then bam, you already have your business profile. That's step one. Step two is basically we let's just say we're working together, we will set up a review request form for you. And then essentially that simple form will then trigger automations to get to send requests on your behalf to previous clients that you've had. And then once it collects, it essentially does two things. So let's say it's a 5-star review, right? Because everybody likes 5 star. Who doesn't, right? Um, basically, what we do is essentially we collect all of those reviews again across all different platforms that you have, and then you can display it in two ways. One is through your website, and we offer different kind of like display views. Essentially, like it can look like a card, it can look like a list, it can scroll by itself to kind of like make it more interactive for you. You can even filter different kind of reviews. So let's say for you, you do coaching, right? Let's just say you coach different kind of businesses. So you could be coaching, I don't know, like an insurance type. You can be coaching for example, coaches. So basically, you
Yeah.
coach coaches,
Yeah.
or you can you also work with I don't know, like let's just say solar guys. So you can even filter those reviews, tag them that way for that specific service. The reviews that shows there are specifically tied into those specific niches that you serve.
Mm.
So and then basically we also have our built-in social sharing kind of like little small graphic tool that basically those reviews you just pick which one, you add a background, you change the branding so it matches your brand, and then that's something that you can already post on your social media accounts. That way you're not just posting about um you asking, you offering services and products or providing value, but also you're doing some small flex. That way it also increases your credibility,
Yeah.
and it psychologically speaking that also triggers people who's like, all right, this person has been getting results because joy is providing them the strategies that they need to get to the next level. Why am I not a part of it? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So because those reviews will speak on your behalf, because essentially that is your online word of mouth. And I talk about the 5 star reviews, right? But let's just say you have an unhappy customer. We have this optional review gating feature, which essentially what it does is it internalizes negative reviews. That way, they're not posting on your business profiles across the internet, and they get sent to a feedback form. And with that feedback form, you then get a chance to work with that disgruntled customer. That way, you don't get the review posted on your profile. And if they became happy after you tried to like find a resolution, guess what? Now you can ask them again. And then this time they give you a better review.
So are you saying that if someone goes on a business page on Google and writes a one-star review, are you saying that review is not going to be public until it comes through your automation tool?
I wish it is the case, but basically what our tool basically does is instead of basically we're getting ahead of the problem, right?
Okay.
So essentially instead of, let's just say you have a disgruntled customer, instead of them trying to find you on Google and then just type like a really bad review, for example, we connect it to your CRM, for example. And then that way, as soon as that's there, like let's just say you are a barber, right? So a barber would probably take an hour, let's just say max, to cut that person's hair. We can integrate it to their booking or CRM tool, and pretty much like as soon as an hour hit, we then request the review. That way, they're not even thinking about, oh my god, I wanna murder this business and just find them on Google. We go we take a step ahead and be like, all right, we're just gonna do timed automations and pretty much ask for the reviews right then and there. So we're getting ahead of the problem.
Okay. That sounds very interesting. So can we talk a little bit about your services where you help coaches, consultants, business owners with social media strategy? Can you
Yep.
talk more about that?
Yeah. So basically for social media, it's all about content, right? Because like if you don't have any content, essentially what you become is more of a consumer because
Mhm.
you keep scrolling on different feeds, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all that stuff. If you're not producing, you are a consumer. And as a business owner, coach, consultant, you need to be the one who's always producing the content. That way you're attracting people who might be interested in working with you, right? So basically, for content stuff, step one is essentially figuring out who you want to serve. Basic stuff, right? But a lot of people think that they can do a one for all type. Where like, oh, I just want to focus on a consultant. All right, but what kind of consultant? Like, is this a consultant that makes a lot of money already? Do they have a team behind them and all the stuff, or are they just starting out, right? And all the stuff. Step two is basically optimizing your profile um, to get them to take action. So that action could be you leading them to request a consultation call. It could be you leading them to download your free ebook, as you giving them access to your knowledge in the sense of you packaging it into a course, right? And ultimately, what you're doing is essentially just grabbing people's email and or phone numbers. That way, you can nurture them further because not everybody buys the first time you see them. Like
Mhm.
omnipresence is very, very important. It's digital marketing because like it used to before that like you just need to show up 7 to 9 different times, and then people will start getting drawn into you. But now because of a lot of distractions, a lot of ads out there, then you need to be seen at least like 16 different times across
Yeah.
different social media platforms. So your job as a consultant or a coach essentially to produce valuable content, not just, random content that you throw out there, and make sure that it's valuable enough that people crave for more, right? So
Mhm.
basically, um, the way we do that, and this is kind of like a strategy that we use for our clients, is essentially we create content bucket. What that means is basically you're not just posting anything and everything about coaching, for example, right? So let's say you're a family related coach, like you help families to have better relationships within, their family, managing their time, their resources, and what have you. So instead of you just saying, "Hey, buy my offer," like something like that, guess what? You can create content buckets around surrounding your family. It could be around doing sharing quotes related to family, time management, resource planning, right? You could find basically memes, for example, or like funny videos that are relatable to your audience. Um, you could pretty much like create kind of like premium kind of resources that you can offer for free. And I'm really big on this because a lot of people think that like just, oh no, it's a premium idea that I have. Why am I sharing it? I want people to pay. Right. We all want that, right? But in order for you to become more of the alpha, I guess, on social media, you're gonna want to be the one who stays on top of mind, and you do that by offering what your competition are so scared to offer, aka
Mm.
their premium idea, right? Um, because information does not mean action.
Yes.
Like you can share all this information, but your expertise as a coach or a consultant is driving them to take that action. So, like I'm not saying make all of your stuff free, but I'm saying give them the good stuff. That way they take action and they get drawn more towards you and not your competition. So yeah, like, and then another content bucket idea would be like, let's just say you're a very spiritual person, right? So you talk about your spirituality. What that does is like, will it scare away other people? Yeah, absolutely. But who cares? What you really want to have anyway are the people that you want to work with around you. Because like
Mm.
because like if you're just attracting everybody, you're not really drawing anybody in. You need to be a little bit more polarizing in a sense that like people will see you and be like, you know what, I like her because of this. Oh, I don't like her because of this, so I'm not even gonna be focused on her content. And that's cool. Because guess
Mhm.
what? That's probably not the person you want to work with anyway. So what that means is that yeah, you might have lost an audience, but it doesn't mean you lost a potential customer.
Yeah, I like that so much. Yeah, we have to differentiate ourselves, and if you want to serve everybody, you end up serving nobody,
I love
right?
that.
Yeah, that's one of the attraction um that people have when you differentiate yourself and you take a stand for something, especially something that is very close to your heart. You attract people who have the same values, and it just makes working as a coach a whole lot easier when you work with people who share the same values as you. So tell us, RJ, how was your journey like into business? Like, how did you create the success you have today? I know you were still in the Navy, but how was that journey like creating this business you have?
Oh my God, a lot of failures.
Mm.
Definitely did not happen overnight for sure. Um, and by failures, I really mean that like it's a lot of me trying, and doing things that I thought I could do, and I ended up wasting my time because I realized, oh, that doesn't really move the needle for my business, and that basically directly affects my bottom line, right? So essentially, it was more of like really just changing my mindset. And over time, as you build that kind of like resilience and different kind of mindset, then you essentially figure things out more in an intentional way, right? So basically, let's just say you're creating content. You're not just publishing content just out of doing it, but now you're more thinking about, all right, well, this content produce an outcome that I want. And that outcome could just be as simple as like, will this make my potential customer laugh or smile? Something like that. And I know that sounds really corny, but when you get people's attention, when you start getting their attention, and you start pulling their emotion, they get drawn more into you. That's why it's called, like attraction marketing. Um, yeah, so basically, like I mentioned earlier, for example, like instead of me doing the work, I ended up learning how to hire. I ended up learning how to systemize stuff. I figured out what are like my daily things I need to do, right? And then I look at it and I'm like, all right, this can be delegated, this can be automated, this is not important, I'm gonna toss this. And then pretty much like right now we're really big into utilizing AI because right now, because like if you think about it, like 2 years ago, AI was not really like a big thing, right? Were there people talking about it? Yeah. But was it big? No. Um, but people are so scared that like AI will replace their job. But in reality, it's all about how you train yourself, your staff, into utilizing AI instead. So there's really no fear in that. It's more of like how do you become somebody who controls AI? That way you can manage your business through the power of AI. Because at the end of the day, AI scraped at least like what 10% of the internet when ChatGPT first came out. But now it can even like look at like current search results. It can read websites and all this stuff. So in a sense, like it's giving you more updated information now. And you as a person or me as a person, right? Like I wouldn't have time to like do that on my own. So guess what? I'm just gonna create AI models that will help me propel my business instead.
So what AI tools do you use?
Um, for us, it's really simple. We just use ChatGPT because ChatGPT is like if because like a lot of AI tools out there, right? Like let's say you're talking about writing content. Could be social media posts, it could be a blog post, right? A lot of like AI tools out there, they're just a wrapper. Essentially, they just package ChatGPT, created their own prompts, and then package it to sell to you for a much more expensive rate. Because like I can tell you right now, if you're using ChatGPT, even if you use like their most expensive model, and let's say you want to write a blog post that has proper citations, images related to your content, you wanted to scrape the internet for like relevant YouTube videos, something like that, right? You wanted to have keywords that can help you rank. If you use an AI wrapper, aka this other AI tools, that's probably gonna run you to like, I don't know, let's just say 10 articles would be like $100 per month, right? And is it cheap? Yes, very affordable. Because like if you hire a real content writer, if you outsource it, that's gonna cost you at least like $40 per blog post if you want like a really, really structured content. And that $40, that's actually low compared to like if you're to hire somebody in-house or like in the United States, right? Or basically just somebody who has just really more experience. But if you use ChatGPT instead and then you just utilize their API, you train that API with your custom prompts and all that stuff, your cost from instead of hiring somebody $40, you take that away. And then your cost instead of using an AI tool that focuses double quote on content for like $100 per month for 10 articles, you take that away. And you pay just a one-time fee of like, let's just say $3 for that article. So that's one huge savings. And two, you have total control of like how it would sound like.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that so much. So when you say pay a one-time fee of $3, like who are you paying that to?
You are paying that directly through ChatGPT because they
Oh,
have, yeah,
I,
they have APIs.
oh, I thought their paid version is $20 per month.
Yeah, so that one is ChatGPT Plus. Basically, that is their more user friendly interface because essentially it's just a web application that you visit on your browser and then you just let it know what to do. But API is more of like you're you're using it with other tools that you use in house already. So for us, for example, we keep our operations really simple. So let's say I want to have a more custom prompt that ChatGPT Plus can't handle. I would just connect it to API. And basically I would create prompts for like headlines, subheadline, content, um, image prompts, keyword research and all this stuff. Like if you were to do this in Chat GPT Plus, can you do it? Yes, but it would take you a lot more time. But if I package this kind of like as my own AI tool, double quote, but it's all living in Google Docs or Google Sheets, I'd rather pay Chat GPT's API $3 than me wasting my time exploring and like, oh, I don't like this tone of voice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like I'd rather
yeah,
do that than spend a lot of time with the web interface.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so someone is listening now and they're like, okay, how can RG help me? How can I take this to the next level? To connect with you and find out how you can help them scale their business 10x.
Yep. So basically, they would just need to go to our website. It's www.enzonmedia.com. Basically, my last name, and they would just need to provide some information, and then we do a deep dive audit of their business as a whole. And it's definitely not a pitch fest where we just sell our products and services to you. I can guarantee that like somebody who books and like provides us their time because time is very important to us. They will walk away with at least 1 to 2 actionable tips that they can implement right away.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. So, listeners, I'm going to add that link in the show notes so that you can just grab that offer and just find out how RJ can help you scale your business 10x. Because I know you mentioned earlier that AI might not necessarily replace your job, but what I tell my clients is that AI businesses that implement AI will definitely replace you. So if you're finding that you are hesitant to embrace AI, I promise you that businesses that embrace AI will replace you. So you need to wake up, take action. 2024 is the year, right? Set yourself up for success, embrace AI, and get all the help you can get. If you can outsource and hire a virtual assistant to help you in your business, leverage that so that you free up time to serve your customers more. Thank you so much, RJ, for coming on the show. Before I let you go, do you have any last words for our listeners?
I mean, like you're providing this value to them for free. So I think my biggest takeaway is that if they find something valuable, honestly, like they should just leave your review as well. You know, like
Yeah. It's a very good point. And that's my assignment for today. I'm going to create my Google business page. So for my previous businesses, I had a Google business page, but for my current consulting and coaching business, I do not yet have a Google business page. Well, you've inspired me. I'm going to go create my Google business page. And I'll definitely connect with you, RG, because I want to see how you can help me, especially with my social media content. So I have a lot of long form content. So I have my YouTube channel, I have my podcast. So I have content. I need help slicing those content into reels, short form reels that can be consumed on social media to expand my reach. So I'll definitely be taking you up on that. And
awesome.
I've really learned a lot. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Joy.
Very quickly before we go, if this podcast episode inspired or encouraged you in any way, I want you to please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcast. Also on YouTube, if you can subscribe and give us a thumbs up and even leave us a comment, that would go a very long way to help us. Thank you so much. I'll see you back here on the next episode.